Another yes on the podcast, PostScript people say a lot. Having Nairn footballer CALUM MACKAY. CALUM, it's a pleasure to have you on.
Aye, pleasure to be here.
CALUM, I'm just going to ask you a bit about your career and a bit about you at Nairn.
Okay.
So, starting off, you're obviously from Inverness.
Yeah.
How old were you when you got picked up by Inverness?
Well, I was 7 years old. I got picked up. That's the earliest that you're allowed to get picked up. Started training once a week on a Sunday down at Charleston Restaurant then.
Hurt rest from there.
Yeah.
How did you find it as you got older, as the years got on, and then progressing up to 13-year-old, 14-year-old, as you get near that professional on club?
First couple of years, it's just once a week. That's all you do on a Sunday. So then at under 10s, I was lucky enough to play a year up. Started training 2-3 times a week, games on Saturday. Didn't play too many games, to be fair, at that age, just in and out. But then the next year, played my own age group, under 11s, and that was every week. Play games, you play your Celtic, Rangers, Aberdeens, Hibs, Hearts, all the big teams. And it was like, as a young boy, take it for granted, but probably the best days of your life because you just play with your mates and learn how to play football.
And then, obviously, as you got older, I think, how old were you when you got your professional contract?
I was 17, so.
How did that come about? And when you know you were on it at contract, how did you think you would get it?
From the age of 12 years old, I'd seen my brother do the same thing, so I knew it was possible, but from then on, and it was just get the head down and try make it myself. But I think around the age of 15, we went into lockdown, so there was a lot of uncertainty around the time if whether, when it came to the time of getting a contract, would I get one or not. So for that next couple of years, it was difficult because you didn't know. You had to work very hard. There's obviously good players in my team that went on in the Highland League now, but at the time you thought they maybe had a chance of making it. The boys above you, year above you, that are trying to make it as well. Boys below you. Football's a competitive sport in that retrospect of trying to make it is as hard as it is. So when I was 16, I had a year at 18s. It was a tough year, but it was a really enjoyable year. We managed to get to the semi-final of the Scottish Youth Cup. They were a very good team, so I think after that I was quite confident that I'd be able to make it because I'd seen probably the top of the youth ladder. So and then when it came to that summer, our 18s had to come back early because our season was starting earlier than the first team. So Ryan Esson had us in early, and he was like, "Oh, you might be training with the first team." And we're like, "Oh, all right, okay." Didn't think too much about it, but then I think it was the first pre-season game we played Clach, and we'd signed the day before. So.
Remind me, who was it that signed on the same day as you?
Matthew Strachan, who's just left the club, and Keith Bray, who obviously has gone on to Dunfermline, yeah.
And then, do you remember much about that day, signing that contract? How did that feel?
Yeah, I remember. I was still in school at the time, and I didn't want to go into school that day. Turned around to Mum, and I was like, I don't want to go into there. She was like, no, you don't have to. Because it was 6th year, it was like it was the last week of school. So you don't need to go in. And I was like, alright, that's fine. And then she phones me and she's like, expect a phone call later. I was like, don't know what this is about. And then it was Ryan Esson that phoned me. I remember him phoning me and I didn't actually answer it because I was like, who is this? Because I actually hadn't had his number saved. And then, and then he phoned me back and he's like, what are you doing? I was like, oh, I didn't know it was you that was phoning me. And he's like, well, you need to come down to the stadium, you're signing your contracts. And we're like, oh, right, okay. So then went down, got told what was in the contract, this, that, and next thing, and then that was it. We had the game the next day against Clach. Got told we would be playing the second half, and then that was it.
And then you touched on it before, But obviously your brother is Daniel McKay, who has gone on to have quite a successful career within football in his own right, and you've got quite a good career so far, and you've got a lot of years ahead of yourself. Did you train with him much at Inverness when he was there?
So I signed, I thought it was the middle of June or something like that, and then Dan kind of knew he was going to be going out on loan, and he was quite adamant on coming back to Inverness. So we knew it could be happening at the same sort of time. So it was kind of, the excitement was kind of building, and then he signed. It was two or 3 weeks later, and then I think it was his second or third day was when we actually got the train together, and it was a weird moment because there's a few years between us, so we never actually played together like at any level. So, yeah.
Pretty special moment, and then obviously speaking of special moments, you made your debut for Inverness and you came on for your brother, so that's obviously a special moment for you two and for your whole family.
Yeah, it was a surreal day. I was in the squad the week before against Morton, and it was a weird moment. We were both sat on the bench together, and I was like, this just doesn't feel right. And then he went on in the first half. I think someone went down, and I remember sitting there thinking, this might get on here, because we were quite limited at the time. We had a lot of injuries that season. That was probably the only reason I was in on the bench at that time, because to be quite honest, I wasn't ready at all to be playing first team football. I was still built like a wee boy. So the fact that I was even there was just probably on the merit of how I was doing with the 18s team at the time. So then the week later we had Motherwell in the Cup. It was the first knockout rounds and stuff like that. So we were in, and it was just a crazy day, because it was like we went down. It was a night game, so we went down during the day, and then we had pre-match. And we had pre-match at the Dakota. It's a very nice hotel. So I was like, wow, just taking it all in. But at the time, probably taking it for a bit for granted, thinking this will just be the regular now, because that's what you think when you're younger. It's just this will be in everything. You'll do this all the time, kind of thing. And then it then became quite a bad day in the sense of the result of the game. We were Motherwell were unbelievable that day. I think it was probably their best performance of the season. Ken Van Veen was a joke, probably one of the best performances I've seen live.
Yeah.
And just mine sitting there, and obviously Ryan Esson was part of the coaching staff as a goalkeeping coach, and he just came round to the back of the bench and was like, "You're going to be going on, so start getting ready mentally." And he went, "And also get down there and start getting warmed up." So I went down, and I think must have been warming up for a good 10 minutes, and I was thinking, when am I going to go on? And there's a clock at Motherwell, so I'm looking at the clock and I'm going, how long am I going to get here? And then it was like the 80th minute or something like that. Billy Dodds shouts me down, and then he just goes, just go out and enjoy it, just try to get a touch of the ball. And weren't getting much of the ball that game anyway, so it was like, oh God. And then the board went up and it was Dan's number, and I was a bit like, oh, because I wanted to play with him, but then I was like, still quite a cool moment that he's coming off the pitch for me and I'm going on for him, like for like substitution. So yeah.
Right. That was obviously under Billy Dodds.
Yeah.
We're going to have to talk about this man, Duncan Ferguson.
Yeah.
You played under him. What was that like?
Well, I was so it was I was there on his first day of training. We played a North Scotland Cup game the night before against Rothes, and he was there. So we met him that night, and we were struggling in the game. I was actually on the bench. It was one of my first games back from injury at the time, and now I'm getting ready to come on in the second half. and he comes in and he's like, we need to start hitting the striker, this, that, next thing, and I was like, all right, okay. The points he made were good, so I was like, all right, he knows what he's talking about. And then we went out and we played the game, but we were in the next day. Because I'd only played a half, I had to train. Obviously, as a young boy, I think that was my second year apprenticeship, so I still had to go out with the other young boys, set up training and stuff like that. So I went up to him, introduced myself, I'm calm, played last night. So the next thing, he's like, could kind of tell he didn't remember who I was at all, but he was like, all right, okay, wee man, can you go get me some mannequins? So I was like, all right, okay, that's quite an easy job to do. Went into the container, and he was like, I want 4 perfect mannequins. And I'm looking at the mannequins in the container going, none of these are perfect mannequins. We got used to it as, it's just the equipment, it's been there for years, it was fine, it wasn't like it was battered or anything, but might have an old missing leg or didn't have the head of it or something, but it's still a usable mannequin. I bring out the 4 best ones I could find, and he's like, ask you for 4 perfect mannequins, and I was like, oh, that's the best we got. And I'm just thinking after that day, reality's gonna hit him quite quickly, as it's not Everton. It's not
the money's not exactly the same.
yeah, it's not the Premier League now. You're in the Scottish Championship with Inverness. So no, it was he was a character. Give him that. That's what he's known as being. I wouldn't say that. I think people give him a harsh time because of what his results and obviously things he'd come out with in the media and stuff like that as Inverness, but he knows the game inside and out, and the stuff he coached was very good. It could be repetitive and boring at times. We played a lot of 11v11. His first 11 that he'd like to play would play against the rest of the boys, and there was stuff about training and how he'd separate the 2 groups and stuff like that, but he did know what he was talking about. He did have a style play. Obviously, people didn't like it, but players like myself, technical players, didn't mind trying to play that way because we wanted the ball, we wanted to keep it, but obviously it didn't work. But I think if he maybe had a bit of time, could have got it going, but just the way the club was at the time, especially when we dropped down to League One, he was having to deal with a short squad, a young squad. I was 19, and I think I was the oldest player on the bench for 12 weeks or something like that, and that was even after he'd left. So.
Strange time at the club. But if I remember rightly, it was first few weeks when he came in initially. First 4 or 5 weeks of his football was brilliant.
Brilliant. He had Spoonie and Billy up front. They were incredible when he first came in, and I think that was something that actually affected him quite a lot was when he lost Spoonie, because the football we were playing at the time was probably based around how Spoonie would drop into certain areas and link up with Billy and stuff like that, but he did get a lot of investment at the time, which we obviously didn't have. But
and from my personal point of view, I've seen you quite a lot. I've seen you play. I mind seeing you in the pre-season, and I think I said to your brother at the time, I said you were absolutely flying. I think it's fair to say you maybe didn't get enough of a chance as what you probably deserved.
I obviously felt that. As a footballer, you think you're better than you are. It's just the way you think. But I think I went back into that pre-season quite, what would I say, hopeful that I'd play football for Cali. And I went back and I scored a few goals in the pre-season. And then we played a few harder teams, and I still felt like I was keeping up with the standard. And I came on a few times under Duncan, and I thought, all right, okay, maybe got a chance here. And then when Cal became the manager, I thought, I'm going to start playing. But things didn't pan out that way. It's the way football is. Different opinions. I thought different at the time. I thought I should have been playing. Cal thought I wasn't quite ready. Looking back on it, probably wasn't. probably needed to go out on loan and not get better, I would say, but get used to the physical demands of football, yeah. I probably didn't play as much as I would have liked for Nairn the season before either. So probably in my own head was above where everyone else probably thought I was at, but it doesn't. But now I left just to go play football, and that's what I've done the past 18 months. So I'm quite happy with the decision that I made to leave.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say. Obviously, you went out to play football, and you've been playing brilliantly for Nairn. You touched on them there. How's it been at Nairn?
I'm loving it. It's when I first went to the club on loan, I really caught the bug. We call it the Nairn bug at Nairn, because you go there and you just instantly enjoy it. It's a great setup of a club. It's a real family club. It's a community club as well. Like, you just feel part of something whilst you're there. And I think that I had other offers to go higher. Probably, I had Brora were after me at the time, stuff like that, and could have won trophies this and next one, but I needed somewhere where I knew I was going to play, I knew I was going to enjoy it, and I'm glad I made that decision because, the season that I had there was a really good one. Managed to pick up a Young Player of the Year, stuff like that. So, no, I'm really enjoying it, and I think it's one of those things. I'd rather enjoy my football than just sit about and hope something would
Hope for opportunities.
Yeah.
You made something for yourself, and you're still young enough that I think you definitely got the ability to go higher.
Yeah,
When that happens, it remains to be seen, but you've definitely been doing what you probably thought you would be doing anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
On more.
Well, that's the thing. There's always the opportunity to go higher if it arises. That's what I'd like to do, but for the moment, I'm at Nairn, enjoying it, and we'll see where this season takes us. We're hoping to do better. Obviously, that's what everyone wants to do.
Everyone wants to improve.
Pick up a wee trophy along the way would be good, but we're just hoping to do better than last season. We went from near the bottom of the Highland League to mid-table, so hopefully we can push into the top 6 this season.
Yeah, looks good for Nairn. And anyway, I think you'll be a massive part of Nairn's season next year as well.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, definitely you will be. Right, I'm going to ask you a few more different questions, just off the cuff.
Yeah.
Your best player you've ever played with?
Best player? Probably, it's between two, and I always go back to these two. People ask me this quite a bit because I've played at Cali. It's probably either Sean Welsh or Scotty Allardyce. They're both centre midfielders. I could play centre midfield myself, but I probably appreciate centre midfield players a bit more than others. Spoonie as well. When he first came back, I thought he was unbelievable. Stuff he'd do in training, but I'd probably be between Sean Welsh and Scotty Allardyce. Like, the way they could just control a whole training session was something that I would just watch them and be like, well, how are they doing this? Scotty would just walk about sometimes, but I think Welsh probably is the standout for me. And the thing, seen what he done at Cali. He's a great captain.
Yeah.
And any time he was out the team, he felt Cali were worse. That's what I felt.
Too many good players. Another one that maybe you can include Nairn players, whoever you want. Someone who's underrated that maybe should be doing a lot that you think could play higher.
Play higher. For Nairn, I'd say Jamie Carnahan. He's probably getting rated now. He's a player of the year and stuff like that. But I think before I came back, he was definitely an underrated player. Thinking about Cali, trying to think. I played a lot of players at Cali, especially under Big Dunk.
About 50 of them.
Had about 40 players. I still think Billy Mackay is one of the most underrated players that's played in Scotland. The amount of goals he scored for Cali is a joke. I think he obviously did go and play at Wigan and played in the Premiership and stuff like that, but I still think he was
underrated
an underrated player. He's probably one of the best finishers there's been in Scotland.
Yeah, I think that's quite an easy thing to say.
Yeah.
And whether you're Celtic, Rangers, or Hearts, Hibs, whoever, I don't think they would go past. Because I think there was one season they scored over 20 goals in the league.
Yeah, you used to tell me it was 27, I think it was.
So, 27. I'm sure you'll remind a lot of people of that anyway. And then, your best stadium you played at?
Probably Tynecastle in the semi-final of the Youth Cup. There was a bit of a crowd there as well, so you got to feel what it was like to be a professional footballer that day. We were unlucky on the day as well, and it was incredible. Like just the stadium itself. I've been to a few games at Tynecastle, but to actually play there was a special moment for all of us, and to do it with boys you'd played with for so many years as well was a great moment.
And then, say for like on a match day, is there anything you do in particular? You listen to any different, the same music, eat the same meal, watch it kind of match day, or is it different now that you're at Nairn compared to Cali?
I think I'm quite superstitious, to be fair. Like, I'll think about what I'd done the week before, especially if I had a good week. I'll be like, oh, what did I do? That next thing, or I'll change it up because it didn't work the week before. I'm quite like, people will say I've got OCD because I just do some stupid stuff, but I wear the same pants. I try to wear the same socks every week.
Hopefully at the wash in between.
Yeah, obviously.
Music-wise, what do you like to listen to before a game?
Before a game, it's normally some sort of house music or something like that, just to get you going for the game, you know. I think it's the same in most changing rooms.
Did you do an initiation for Inverness or for Nairn?
I don't think I've done one at Inverness that I can remember. I think I managed to dodge that one. I was a bit too young, I think. Didn't want to take the piss out of me too early. But Nairn, had to do a couple. We had just singing on the bus on the way home from a game.
What was the songs?
I think I done American Pie was the recent one I done. I picked the longest song, good that.
Should have picked Tequila.
Yeah, nah. That's what you have to do.
Part of football.
Just part of football, yeah.
Character building.
Yeah, a bit of character. Gets boys used to your character as well. Certain boys give it a bit more than others, but I would say I give it a bit more. But, yeah.
And then after a game, what do you like to eat after a game?
After a game, changes, normally a beer, but nah, I like a Chinese after a game.
Nice.
Salt and pepper chicken, chips, rice, curry sauce all over it.
Sounds good to me. We'll ask a few more things as well. I don't know what else to ask. I know quite a lot, we've done quite a lot. Obviously your time at Nairn, how many managers have you had there?
2 actual managers, 1 interim.
Okay. Who's been the biggest influence on you as a footballer?
As a footballer, probably Ryan Esson. We came back from COVID 2021 would have been, and he was the 18s manager. We were in a bit of limbo our age group. We were like, so they made a 17s for us that year. So we kind of went between the two, 17s and 18s, and then from the minute I started working with S, I could tell there was a bit of a difference in coaching, just in the sense of like tactically, he knew so much, and I think that was something that probably changed me as a football player, was working with him. I didn't just see football as an attacker, seen it also defensively, and what I needed to do off the ball to get the ball, to then get the ball to attack. So yeah, he definitely was the biggest. Over those 2 years, he definitely made me more than ready to go train with the first team.
And then if you've got like a quote or a saying that you stick by for football, that's you either heard it from someone or someone said it to you, that always sticks in your mind.
Football's a short career, so enjoy it while you can.
Fair enough. Anyway, I'll wrap this up here. So thank you very much, Alan, for coming on.
Oh, no problem.
Thank you for the Clachnaharry, where we insist now for allowing us to use all this premises.